Hi everybody, welcome back. Now, in this video, I want to talk about a strategy for the IELTS speaking test that is very important, and yet the thing is, not many people know about it. It's called the Rule of Three. Make sure that you watch through to the end of this video so that you understand exactly what the rule of three is and how to use it to really develop your answers properly when you take the speaking test for IELTS. So of course this video is going to be really useful for anyone who is on the general training version or the academic version of IELTS. If you're new to this channel, let me just introduce myself. My name is David. I am an IELTS coach and I have helped hundreds of IELTS students get a high score in IELTS so that you can study at an international university or progress in your career. Obviously, a natural part of IELTS coaching is to have a YouTube channel, IELTS Breakthrough, which gives you tips and strategies that are really important to improve your score. So make sure that you subscribe and hit the bell there so that you don't miss any of the important videos that are really going to help you with your IELTS results. Now, in the IELTS speaking test, you need to deliver content that is going to kind of quote unquote impress the examiner. Let me explain. One of the important things you need to do is to show to the examiner that you are confident and comfortable in speaking English. This is something that is going to affect part of your score that is called fluency and coherence. The main point is that basic answers are not going to help your score. You need to go beyond basic responses and give extended answers to all of the questions that you experience in the speaking test. This is where the rule of three comes in. The rule of three is very simple. It's actually not a rule. It just states that for everything you say, you should provide 2 or 3 points. The easiest way to understand this is to look at some examples. Let me explain. Look at these questions and answers. Think about them, and as you look at them, think to yourself, are these good, strong or weak answers? Do you like cooking? Yes, it is interesting. Why do people like to play sport? Because it is fun. What do you like to do in the evenings? I like to watch television. So if you think about those 3 examples, you probably recognize that there is not really much content in the answers. They're very basic and they don't really share a lot of information with the examiner. As a result, they're not going to get a very high score. You need to apply the rule of 3, which will add 2 or 3 points to each of these responses. Let me show you what I mean by looking at these examples and adding the rule of 3 to them. Question 1 was, do you like cooking? And here is a better response. Oh yes, cooking is interesting, and I think I basically like it for a few reasons. There are many different ways to cook one kind of vegetable, for example, and that makes it interesting. Of course, there's lots of different types of cuisine that we can try to cook. And what's more, I also get to control the ingredients that I use when I'm cooking, and I like to have that control of knowing what goes into my own food. The second question was, why do people like to play sport? And let's look at the answer with the rule of 3 applied. Well, I do think sport is fun, and there are several ways you can get fun from sport. Firstly, it allows you to meet new friends. Of course, another fun part of sport is it allows you to increase your strength and fitness level. And then lastly, if you like that kind of thing, playing sport can also increase your competitive spirit. And let's just consider the third example. The question was, what do you like to do in the evenings? And here is an answer with the rule of 3. I like to watch television. I usually start watching television at about 7 o'clock at night, and I turn it off around 8:30 or 9 o'clock. My favourite programmes that I like to watch are crime stories and action films. So that is how to use the 3-point rule. It's pretty simple, isn't it? However, there are a couple of points to make here when you practice this. And that is the first point. Although this strategy is very simple, you do need to practice it so that you get used to it. And the best way to practice it is to take a look at some example questions and have a little brainstorm. Don't really try to answer them, but just brainstorm 2 or 3 points that you could add as part of your answer to the question. Now, I've put a couple of example questions that you might like to work with down in the description. So take a look there if you want a little bit more help. The other point to note related to the rule of 3 is that you don't need to overthink things, and your additional points don't need to be intelligent or some kind of showing how amazing your general knowledge is. They can just be basic everyday points that you use. Okay, so let me know in the comments if you get stuck with trying to answer some of the questions in the speaking test. What kind of problems do you have trying to say as much and share as much with the examiner? I read all the comments, so please write them in and I'll give you my best answer. And if you found this video useful, why not watch another video? One of the important questions that you need to be ready for in speaking is how to answer comparison questions. And there are some clear steps that you can take to answer a comparison question effectively in a way that is going to increase your score. So why not take a look at that video? It's only 7 or 8 minutes long, and you'll get a really useful strategy from that time. So take a look at that now. In the meantime, have a fantastic day, week, weekend in whatever you're doing, and I'll see you in the next video.